Hi, my name's Scott. Today we're going to be repairing a DC charger cable for a small battery, period. What happened is this cable got kinked by being closed in a case, and it causes the wires to be intermittent and therefore not always charging when you think it's charging. So rather than go to the store and try to find the right 2.1 millimeter DC power connector, I just fished through all the leftover chargers I have through the years and found one that fit. In this case, this one fit perfectly. So I'm going to cut back the bad cable, and I'm going to cut the new cable at approximately the same length and attach the two together. So we need various tools. Well, one of them would be these wire cutters here, and we'll cut both cables about 6 inches long. Doesn't really matter where you cut it. And in this case, the first cable has what they call zip cord, so I just kind of slid it down the middle and tear it apart so that I could get to both conductors. Then take some simple wire strippers. Again, these are all available at Harbor Freight, or you might probably already have them laying around. And strip both wires. Try not to cut any of the center conductors or any of the strands in the conductors. And strip them about 1/4 inch long. And you want to do that to both cables. The two conductors on this pigtail, and of course the conductors on the charger cable. Now we do want to be careful of the polarity between positive and negative. So if you have a voltmeter, set it to continuity and make sure you know which conductor is the center of the plug, which is positive, and which one's the outside silver part that you see most of, and that would normally be the other wire, in this case the pure black wire with no white stripe. Okay, and back to the charger itself. Now that we've cut the connector off, we're going to want to strip that and reveal the two conductors inside as well. The goal is obviously to hook these wires, positive to positive, negative to negative, and solder them together. Put a little heat shrink over it, and everything will be great. So now that I've stripped the other conductors, doing it right now, you be a little careful. If you end up damaging the wire, just cut it and try again. Okay, so now we've got clearly positive and negative, being that the red wire is almost always positive and the black wire is almost always negative. But we can always check by putting our voltmeter on DC volts. Something above 10 volts would be nice, like 12 volts. Plug the charger into the wall and put your wires, your test wires, leads, on the two leads you just stripped, and you should show positive voltage. If it shows a negative in the screen, that means that red is not positive but negative, and that's rarely the case. So again, you just want to make sure that red is positive and black is negative, and that's all you're really looking for with the voltmeter. And if you don't have a voltmeter, you'll probably be okay with just going with red being positive and black negative. Okay, so now our only job is to solder those wires, black and red, on the pigtail from the charger to the new 2.1 millimeter plug that we took off of another assembly. So what we're going to do first is tin the wires. So apply the heat and a little bit of solder to each of the wires. We'll do these two first, and it should be good and silver by the time you're done. Don't heat it up so much that you melt back the insulation, but just heat it up enough to where both wires become shiny silver. And they're going to want to do the same thing to the pigtail coming off the charger. Heat up both wires slightly with a soldering iron and apply a little solder. What this allows you to do is to not have to apply solder anymore, because all the leads have solder on them already. Okay, so at this point, line up the positive lead with the red wire and the negative lead with the black wire and solder them together. Now I've used heat shrink here, which you can get at Harbor Freight in a pack. They're very inexpensive, or any electronics store. And the heat shrink, just pick a size that's a little bit bigger than your wire and slide it on first. And this will provide us good insulation once we're through soldering. So slide it on there, hold it out of the way, and then connect positive to positive with your soldering iron and negative to negative. With the wires already tinned, it will go very quick and easy. Just heat it up and they'll go right together. Be sure not to slide the heat shrink over the joint quite yet. Let it cool off a little bit. You slide it on too soon, it'll start shrinking before you've completely slid it over. Just give it 30 seconds or so to cool off. All right, now we'll slide the heat shrink up. Cover the joint. Heat it up with a hot air gun. If you don't have a hot air gun, you can use a little bit of a flame. Just be careful you don't burn the rest of your wires. Just go gently, go slowly, and heat them up. And they'll shrink down nicely and provide a good joint that cannot short out. At this point, you're really done. You can apply electrical tape if you want, but in essence, you now have a working charger again without really spending any money. And if you need to buy some tools, they're not very expensive and you'll use them for other projects. So this is a good way to repair your equipment and not have to go out and buy a new one. Hope this all makes sense. If you have any questions, certainly write them below and I will get back to you and answer those questions. I put electrical tape on just to show you guys how I would do it. That's it, you guys. Again, my name's Scott. I hope this helped. Hope to get you back up and charging your batteries again. Have a great day, and thanks for watching.